here at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Since this is kind of like a hot topic going on this week, and I think you guys are going to have lots of questions, I think what I'm going to do is also go live on Instagram, so I can answer the most people's questions. So if you see me kind of not just looking at you like normal, but also kind of looking up elsewhere, then you know what the heck I'm doing. So, oh my gosh, hi everyone. So yes, we're here. We most of us know on here how things are happening and going down. So let's talk about it. I know you guys have some questions, and I might have answers. I might have perspective. Who knows? Hold on a sec. Oh, thank you guys for all showing up. I do intend to answer your guys' questions today. So thank you for being here. I am live on both YouTube as usual, like I do every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But today I also am live on Instagram because I know there's a lot of people with a lot of questions. Hey, what's going on? About what's going on with Dhar Mann and the protests and how's everybody doing?
What the heck are you doing on the computer?
So I'm going live on Instagram on the computer. Or no. The computer is live, YouTube, and the Instagram is on the phone. Because there's a lot of people with questions. Hi, everyone. Since there's so many people here today, I can't say hi to everyone. But I'm going to try to focus on questions that you guys have, mostly on the YouTube channel. Because this is my YouTube peeps. We're here every Sunday. So thank you for being here. Hopefully I can answer some questions. Have you guys seen the video that I put out Thursday with my response to what you guys? Hey, I'm on a live stream. What? What's going on?
This is an example of a protest.
Okay, you gotta do it up here because now the Instagram people can't see you.
And the developers like, we can't release Benny Dwayne into the future, and then everyone gets upset.
So this is my son Timothy. For those of you who don't know him, he's special needs, and he's actually been in one Dhar Mann video.
Yeah,
you've been in one, and Eli, your little brother, has been in 3, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think that Dhar Mann doesn't work with special needs people? Because some people are saying that. Do you think that's true? No, because he's worked with you. and Brendan. Okay, can you guys just kind of like shut the door and leave me?
All right, bye.
Okay, thank you, sweetheart. You guys want to say hi to Eli? Some of you guys don't know my little one.
Hi.
He's been in 3 Dhar Mann videos. Say hi, Eli. Okay.
And look, Eli has a baby boneless.
Yeah. Okay. Go.
Bye, y'all. Bye.
This is like grown-up talk over here.
Bye.
Thank you. Love you. Bye. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. This is so cool. So how am I doing? Honestly? Okay. Lock the door. Okay. Quiet. Honestly, I have been kind of an emotional wreck this week. I'm usually pretty even-keeled, usually pretty joyful, but this is kind of it's kind of tumultuous out there, right? Navigating these waters, because oh man, I'm so sad of how this is affecting you fans, and feeling like you're stuck in the middle. I've had several of you reach out to me saying, oh my gosh, I love Dhar and I've been following him and he's helped me, but I can't get behind him anymore because he's doing all this stuff, and people are under this misconception that he's firing a bunch of people. People think that kid actors are being fired and all this stuff, and like some points that the protesters have made are valid. Some have been sensationalized and blown way out of proportion. So, where are you guys at? How are you feeling? I'm like shaking on the inside. I was so scared to put that video out that I put out Thursday on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen it. I had no idea that it was going to go Um, my first viral video. I've never had one, never it was on my goal poster to have one this year, but I never suspected this was going to come up and happen. And I honestly did not want to speak out. I didn't want to say anything. I was so stinking nervous and chicken. And I was like, when I felt so strongly in my heart to speak about my positive experiences, because people were only posting their negative experiences, I was looking in the bathroom mirror and I was saying, God, this isn't me. I can't do this. I'm not the brave one. I'm not brave. That's not me. Pick somebody else. And I heard God speak to my spirit. And He said, you don't decide who you are. I decide who you are. So I know a lot of you guys are in the middle because some people do have some valid points who aren't happy. However, there's a way to express your point in a manner that is more fit. You guys have maybe heard the saying that says you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. So I don't know how, like, protests, cool. That's cool. This is America. We can do that. That's like, sure. Speak your mind, freedom of speech. Love that. It's wonderful. But I think the things that got to me was like the accusations, the slander, the blowing things up, the assumption that some people have of what's going on. Um, I just love those actors and I feel for them and I understand their plight. And when I talked to a couple of them about the issues leading up to this, like I was like, that's a valid point. I could see that. And that particular point would be helpful or this or that. But then when it got ugly and they started like calling him a fraud and saying to call the IRS and it just got so out of proportion or saying that he's firing people because they're disabled. It just it just rang so untrue. So untrue. And I don't I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus. Really. It's just disheartening for everyone. And we got Michael said, someone said he's done with YouTube. He's not done. He's not done. He's still going to be putting out his positive messages. It's really unfortunate. Yeah, I see your comment, Frank, that the actors are saying Dar won't even talk to them. So here's what happened. A bunch of actors who had some concerns about the terms and conditions of the workplace wanted to have a meeting with Dar in the studio, and they apparently what they've said, I don't know, I can't confirm this, is that they tried to schedule a meeting and it kept getting rescheduled. And then they finally got the meeting, and when they showed up, it was Ruben, who's the head of production there, production manager. I'm not sure his exact title, but he basically is the one who runs everything. Dar primarily works from home, from my understanding, to be able to spend more time with his family. So he writes his scripts and does the decisions kind of virtually from home, and he comes in maybe one day a week, something like that. So they got a meeting. They showed up, the two gentlemen, Colin and Chaz. They showed up, and Dar wasn't there. It was the head of production who runs everything and the HR person, the human resources person, which is pretty normal. That's who you would meet with if you have a complaint about the workplace. So because Dar wasn't there, they decided they would not share their issues. They would not say, oh, thank you, Christopher. Christopher Sky is on Instagram right now. He works at Dhar Mann and is happy working at Dhar Mann. And he's saying, I shouldn't be getting attacked for saying I had a good experience on Dar's set. And that's the crazy thing. This is where it's getting wild too. Those of us like me and Jovanna and Christopher and others who have come out publicly and said, we've had a good experience working on set. It's been good for us. We are getting attacked, mocked, made fun of by the protesters just for having a different opinion, just for having a different experience, which seems kind of, I don't know, I don't want to put labels on things, but it's a little mean and immature that as grown adults, we can't have different opinions. Okay, somebody is saying he fired Mikey and Jay. That is not true. I don't know who is spreading this, but I have gotten dozens and dozens of comments from people saying that Dar fired Mikey and Jay with Kato and Sean. Not true. They still work there. Mikey was shooting last week. Sean is shooting next week. It is not true. Mikey and Jay are not fired. So here's where it's getting weird and ugly. It's like a game of telephone. When some of the protesters are really blowing things out of proportion and sensationalizing certain things, somehow lies are being spread that we are like, I don't know, that nobody is getting paid, which isn't true. That all these people are getting fired for no reason, and the kid actors, it's like it's gotten out of hand because the things that people are saying and mentioning aren't even like, a lot of them aren't true. So it's okay it's okay to protest, want things different. It's okay to be like, these are what I have. But if you don't go express your needs to the people that run the place and the human resources department, how do you expect to be heard? To just decide I'm going to protest if the number one head guy himself isn't there. I, me personally, I would people who were at the meeting and then sat back and wait and saw if they did anything about it, if they heard my concerns, if they took note, if they made some changes. And I would have made, personally, this is just my opinion. I'm not telling anybody else what to do. I would have made the protest a last resort, not just because I didn't get what I wanted. And there, at a lot of companies you work, if you have a complaint, especially companies that have more than 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 employees, you're not going to, and not to mention hundreds of actors, you're not going to get a meeting with the head person himself. You'll be talking to the manager, the head of operations, the HR in charge. If you have a complaint I mean, it's a different example, but I was just thinking, this is an example Christopher actually brought up when we were talking on set this week. He said, if you have a complaint at Tyler Perry Studios, you're not going to get a meeting with Tyler Perry. You're going to, you'll get a meeting with the people that run the place or whoever. There's different channels to go through. And I don't know. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to look at your guys' questions, and I want to dispel some of the myths, but I also want to answer your questions. And I'm not trying to I'm not anti-protesters. I'm not pro. I feel like I enjoy my experience there. I like working there. I don't see all of the crazy negative things that people are saying. But I do like I said, they do have a couple valid points where they brought up and I was like, that would be good. That would be good if we had that. That would make things a lot easier and a lot better. That being said, how it was handled by some of the protesters and then how they're choosing to, I don't know, make fun of and mock people just for not agreeing with them is kind of, it's disheartening to say the least. So, let me see some of your questions. Oh no, is the video blurry? Okay, let me try to clean my camera lens. I don't know if that helped. Okay. Miriam wants to know how much we get paid. So some people are saying we're not making a living wage. And that's led a lot of people to believe that we're getting less than minimum wage, which isn't true. All the actors, I don't know, I can't speak for the extras. I don't know. I haven't talked to them, but all of the actors at the studio with speaking roles get more than double minimum wage. So I think it's different depending on how long you've been there or when you started. So I can't speak for everyone, but I saw someone post online that the actors are getting between 33 and 44 an hour. So um so I don't know. I don't know the answers because I don't write out the paychecks. So I do know that I fall within that range, so it's accurate on what I know, but I don't know what everybody I don't look at other people's paychecks. So there's that. Um, Nicholas says, move to another room. Okay, is it better if I stand back? Is that is that better for seeing? I don't know. You guys are saying some of you guys are saying it's blurry. Okay, so Cookie saying a role that would have suited you is as Carolyn's mom in the Vampire Diaries. Okay. Okay, a beginner of this protest. As a beginner of this protest, what should I know? I love your content. I think there's a lot of voices out there that will tell you what's going on at the protest from different people's point of view. I don't think I need to reiterate. Um, I did make a video on my thoughts, my feelings, and my experiences here on my channel. The video is called "Was I Mistreated at Dhar Mann Studios?" So if you want to check that out for context to know how it is for independent actors who are like independent contractors and not under contract, it gives you a good feel of that. And then I go into what my experiences have been there. Okay, so he does pay the actors. He pays them very quickly. All right, so many comments. Okay, so if you guys on Instagram, no, I'm not wearing contacts. I was born with two different colored eyes. But if you guys on Instagram want to ask me a question, I'm answering the questions on the YouTube live stream. So join me on YouTube if you actually want me to see your questions and answer it. Okay, so Certain Studio said, what happened to Ricki? You're going to have to look at her feed because she's got a lot on her feed talking about her experience. She's been going live on Instagram and TikTok. We were supposed to get together and talk yesterday together, but she was like in transit and she had to change the time like 3 or 4 times. And finally, when she was able to do it, I was like, I can't do it now because I have to get to the pharmacy before they close and pick up my son's prescription. So we're hoping maybe to talk sometime this week because she wants to hash things out with me because a lot of people have been asking her to do a reaction video to the video I made. Uh, you know, so somebody IIPAYX is asking, why are the actors protesting if they are paid well then? Okay, so it's not about being paid well or not being paid well. I think some of the concern is some of these protesters, and I can't speak for them, they're doing a fine job of speaking for themselves. Some of them feel like because they work at the studio on a regular basis, that they should have more, that they should be able to pay all of their bills for working at the studio. Um, and they want, like, maybe some of them have talked about wanting to have like a minimum base for the month, like to be kind of held. It sounded like from some of them, and they're going to tell their points much better than I can, almost like they wanted to have a retainer. And so, for those of you who don't know what a retainer is um, like if you have a lawyer, you pay them a monthly fee just in case you need to talk to them to retain their services. So that was one of the issues. I don't know all of the issues. All I know is what's been my experience there. Derek asks, where were you when the protests at Dhar Mann Studios took place? I was at Dhar Mann Studios shooting. That's where I was when it was going down. I was at one of their locations shooting. Okay, so let me look at, you guys are just pounding me with comments. Okay, so Liv Morgan, okay, is asking, what is your opinion on Brianni getting fired? I don't know the circumstances behind what was going on with Brianni, but for the last, is it been a year? It might be close to a year since she's worked there. And and this is where I kind of, I love her and I think she's a wonderful human being and I love what she's about and what she's doing with the bullying and all, and her just, she's just a sweet soul and I wish things have would have gone differently. But I guess she stopped getting called. I guess they just stopped reaching out to her. Um, that happens occasionally where we just stop hearing from them and we don't know why. And I think that is one of the concerns that people have is they're like, how come they stopped calling me? And there's a few people who've had that experience. They're like, they stopped calling me, they stopped booking me, they stopped, emailing me for jobs, and I don't know why. So for the last year or so, I think you'll have to find out from her how long it's been. She hasn't worked there. She hasn't been called or emailed for a job. So she didn't know why. She didn't know why. She was asking people to ask Dar or Ruben why. And I don't know if she ever found out an answer. So the disheartening thing was then during the protests during the week, she was there and she was holding up a sign saying that she got fired for her disabilities. And I was just like, oh gosh, like you haven't known for like a year why you don't work there anymore. And this is where it gets a little like, oh, because now you're speculating. Now you're speculating the reason you haven't been called back or they haven't used you as an actor is because of something that you have going on medically. And that, we can never know what's in another person's heart, right? We don't know why somebody does what they do. And I know it's so hard when you don't get an answer, when you want an answer, you're like, what, and that's one thing I will say that the communication could be better sometimes. The communication could be better. And like I said in my video, I don't think the place is perfect. No place is perfect to work. But after working on well over well over 100 different movie sets, probably closer to 150 before I started working for Dhar Mann, it's honestly in my top 5. It's in my top 5 places to work, sets that I have been on. It's been an overwhelmingly positive experience for me. I would say 99% of the time. So, like seeing certain things that come out, like when they're saying things that are very speculative, because for the last year you didn't know why. So now all of a sudden, when there's a protest, you're going to have make up a reason why without any proof. Like, I just feel like that's not cool. And I've been like accused of certain things that were nowhere near true. But here's the thing. In life, things happen to us. Something happens. Okay? What happened? I don't hear from them. I don't know why. But then there's the story we make up about why this thing happened. That's all I'm going to say. Sometimes things happen, but then we make up stories about why they happened, and that's not cool, especially when people just are going to automatically assume the worst. I don't know if am I'm in the minority of this, but I read the Bible, and the Bible talks about love, and it talks about love believes the best. So for me personally, how I live my life, if something negative happens, I try to, you know, I try to think, they probably didn't mean that. Maybe there's some kind of misunderstanding somewhere. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt and not just automatically assume the worst or jump to certain conclusions. You guys understand where I'm coming from? All right, so let me look at, do you have any regrets about Dhar Mann? I do not, Emmy. I don't have any regrets working there. Um, let's see. We have a question. Why hasn't Dhar Mann been posting that much? He's posting 4 days a week, so I'm not sure what you mean. I think he's posting videos Monday through Thursday, isn't he? That's a lot. um, but no, Steph, I did not say Brianni made that up. I'm saying our natural human brain is always trying to figure out a reason why. We just like, how many of you have ever been dissed by a friend or broken up with by someone and you're like, I can't figure out why? And your brain just goes to work on, maybe it was this, maybe it was this, maybe it was that. Well, this is the last thing that happened, so it must be that. It's like something we do to give ourselves peace of mind, to protect ourselves. And like I said, I'm not speaking ill about anyone. I just I don't like when people speculate on what the reasons are when they don't actually know. There's decisions I've made in my life and people have said, "Oh, you just did that because da da da," da," and I'm thinking that could not be further than the truth. Further from the truth. So people see, here's the thing again, people see you do something and they make a kind of scenario about why you did it when they don't know. So that's all I'm saying. Okay. So Liv Morgan asks, what's my opinion on Mair? I think she's a lovely person. I think she's got a great personality. I love her sense of humor. Um, yeah, I've always enjoyed working with her. I think she's a fun lady. Gregory says, are you surprised Mair became mean and started bullying you? No, I'm not surprised. It wasn't a big surprise. Oh, Nicola, thank you for the gift. Those of you guys who've been sending me super chats, thank you. I'm really humbled, and I don't know if you guys know, this just takes a lot of courage. This takes a lot of courage for me because it's a hard topic, hard issue. There's a lot of hurt feelings. There's a lot of people who are feeling not heard and invalidated. And it's a hard place to be, to love working at a place where a few people are saying we don't like it, we hate it. But I honestly feel like those who are protesting are in the minority. I've had dozens and dozens of people inbox me after I put out my video talking about my positive experiences, saying thank you. We've had nothing but good experiences working there. We hope to continue. It, so like I say, there's two sides to every story. Mermaid Diamond asks, are they still protesting? Yes. I don't know if they will be going back to do it out in the open. They've certainly been doing it daily online, speaking their mind. Okay, let's see. I'm checking out you guys on YouTube. I'm checking out your comments. Um, it's Josiah Play says, Katherine, how you act on Dhar Mann. You know what you've been there. I'm not sure what that means. I'm sorry. Um, Servant says, would I be able to audition in Dhar's videos, even if I have other jobs? Yeah, pretty much everybody has other jobs. I think they post their casting notices on LA Casting and Actors Access. Not 100% sure. Okay. Joshua asks, who's your favorite actor or actress to work with? I couldn't say, honestly. I couldn't narrow it down. They've all been really lovely. Okay, so keep asking me your questions, and because normally when I'm on here every Sunday, I have like a message prepared, and I have like little teaching points, and I do my. For those of you who don't know, I'm a life coach and an encouragement coach, and I do inspirational, motivational talks, and I usually have that worked in. But I knew today that wasn't going to happen. Okay. How did Dhar Mann hire you? I auditioned for the show. I think most people did. I guess some people maybe didn't, but I just did an audition. Okay, Luna says, "Do you feel like the situation could have been handled differently?" I do, and I did talk about that a little at the beginning. I personally, I would have had the meeting with the two people that were there, the person that runs the studio and the HR person, and I would have shared what I felt and then waited to see if they did something about it before I processed it. That's just me. I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, so I would have waited and seen if it that if what I shared made a difference and it went somewhere. But we can't turn back the hands of time, right? We can't undo it. Um, okay. So, Miriam, you were asking why did some of the actors get fired? I don't know who specifically you're talking about, but maybe you could be more specific because there are some speculations going on about like certain like Mikey and Jaden being fired and they're not. There's a lot of people think tons of people got fired and they haven't. So I'm not exactly sure who you mean. So it's not that I don't want to answer. I just don't know. Oh, Green Otterbox said, "I love your outfit." Thank you. Look at the zipper. The zipper's got sparklies on it, on my sweatshirt. Sequence. All right. Okay. All right. What do you think about what Dhar Mann did to the actors? Can you guys be more specific when you ask me your questions? Because so many people have been online talking about so many different things. So when you say what he did, I don't even know what to address or what you're referring to because so many people have so many different things that they're saying. Okay. Nicholas says I look like Elsa. It's not the first time I've heard that. Actually, in one of the reaction channels I did with Mair, she called me Elsa. She was making fun of me, calling me Elsa. Okay, let's see. Let's see, somebody asked, let's see. Are you currently still working at Dhar Mann Studios? NetBlocks wants to know. Yes, I am. Joshua asks, do you think people that deserve to get a little pay in Dhar Mann Studios? I think people should be paid what they're worth. I think people deserve to get paid their worth. And that's part of the reason people are protesting because they're feeling like they're not. Okay. That girl, let's see. That girl, Chloe, says, what's the favorite Dhar Mann video you've been in? My favorite one on my YouTube channel called My 8 Favorite Dhar Mann Videos I'm in. So if you want to check it out, you can. Okay. Annie Juby says, I hate to ask, but do you hate Dhar Mann? I do not. I do not hate anybody. There's not a single person on earth that I hate. Not even those who've done me wrong. You know, when I've been mistreated in different circumstances in my life, it's painful sometimes. But I try to step back and see what that person might be going through. And I try to, understand from their perspective what it's like. And I think that's one of the reasons I am able to have more, for lack of sounding snobby, which I might right now, it's why I have a better grasp sometimes on like emotional intelligence because I'm not quick to fly off the handle if I feel like I've been done wrong, because I try to look at things from all perspectives and I try to look at things from the person's perspective who hurt me. And sometimes they're hurting, or sometimes they're ignorant, or sometimes they just don't know, or so, there's a lot of reasons. I'm not even talking about stuff going on at the studio. I'm just talking about like when things have happened to me personally. So Master Yoda said, do you have a child? I have 2. If you were in here earlier, you'll have to go back and rewind. I had both my kids in here, but then I had them lock the door because I didn't want them interrupting me again. They usually pop onto my live streams every week doing silly stuff. But I said to my big boy, Timmy, he's special needs. He's 15. I said, don't be coming in here with your silliness today because I'm going to have a lot of new people on my YouTube live that have not been on here before. So let's not do any antics. This is today's serious matter. So normally we like to have fun on these live streams and we like to be uplifted. But today's a more somber occasion, and there's been stuff going down, and I know you guys want some answers. So, all right, let's check out some more questions here on the YouTube. Okay. Oh, shoot. Some of these are going by so fast. Okay. Okay. Is it Sayurvin? I don't think you could audition living in another country. I think you have to live here. I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't audition, but then how would you get here? And how would you? This isn't like a Dhar Mann Studios is a small non-union YouTube channel. It's not like a big Hollywood studio where they have millions of dollars and they fly people in, you know, to do parts. So you kind of have to be local to get those opportunities. Okay. Let's see. Good question. Babacorn Bricks says, has this affected your friendship with anyone? I don't know. I would hope not, because I still love all my fellow coworkers, and I wish them the best, and I have no hard feelings towards anyone. Um, yeah, I hope not, but the sad thing is some people cannot do not have the capacity to be friends with people they don't agree with. I'm not like that. I have a lot of friends. We disagree with things spiritually, religiously, politically, but we're still good friends. So I'm able to see other points of view, and I know some people aren't. They're like, they think if you don't agree with them, that you're either, I don't know, lying or drinking the smoothies. Some of you will get that. Okay. Okay. Yes, Cato and Sean still work there. Okay, you guys are asking so many questions. I have to pause this. Okay, it's Josiah Plays asks how Dhar Mann treated you in Dhar Mann Studios when you're at the shoot. Always with kindness, always with respect, always caring. It's been a great experience for me. Okay, Acme, thank you for the gift, asks, sorry to ask too many questions, but how do you feel about the protests? Do the actors, including you, have a good partnership with Dhar Mann? If so, how? Will you continue to work for Dhar Mann? That's a lot of questions. How do I feel about the protests? I think they have every right to protest. I think they have every right to share their mind. I don't always agree with how they're doing it, what they're saying, how, the speculation, the slander. I really don't think that'll get you away. I'm a boss myself. I have employees. And, if I decided to send my manager or my person to meet with them to find out what their grievances are because I'm not available or I'm busy or I don't have the time or whatever. And then I saw and put in what their grievances or requests were, and then instead started and saying that I'm a fraud and to call the IRS and started having different kinds of speculations. I don't I really don't think I would listen to them. That's just me. I can't it's I know that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. Forgive me. Forgive me for having my opinion, but that's my opinion. This is America. We're entitled to have different opinions. Okay, let's see. Answering your questions on YouTube. No, I am not fired. Um, Lorenzo says, what big Hollywood company would you love to work for as an actress? Good question. Well, they're not a big Hollywood company. I like the films that the Polish brothers put out. I like the films that the Coen brothers put out. Um, I like some quirky, offbeat kind of stuff. I don't really know the certain studios or productions, so I can't speak specifically on which I would like to work for. Okay, let me see. Did child actors get fired too? I am not aware of any child actors getting fired. I am aware that um, Brianni stopped working there, that they stopped calling her. I don't know why. I can't speak on that. Sophia did not get fired, but she's Brianni's best friend. So you can ask them specifically, but it's my understanding that um, it was really hurtful that Brianni felt hurt that she wasn't getting called and Sophia still was. So it's my understanding, and I could be wrong, that Sophia quit just out of respect for her friendship um, with Brianni. Yeah, it's a sad situation. Okay, and everybody keeps saying Kato and Sean are not fired. I don't know who is spreading that, but I must have gotten that comment like 200 times. They still work there. They both still work there. Annie says your recent video with Adam W is incredible. That was so fun. Where I played the teacher, that was such a fun video. Thank you for that. Okay. I don't know why people are saying certain people are fired. I don't know where they're getting that information. Okay, so Daniel says, do you agree with Jovanna's view on the protests? I think parts parts of it, yeah. She was initially on board with it because she thought some of their ideas were valid, as I mentioned. So did I. But she was not on board with how it went down and how they proceeded to express their unhappiness. Can you hear my kids laughing and yelling in the background? Oh my gosh. Yes. Carrotless. Yes, productions at Dhar Mann are still being made. Kiki, no, I do not feel Dhar Mann has treated me badly, nor anybody at the studio ever. Ever. More than 150 productions, and I don't feel like I've ever been mistreated. Do I think it's been perfect all the time, every single time? No. I think there's been once or twice where I've complained about something, but not something that's so major that I'm going to go out and like be mad about it. And that's the thing with me too. That goes back to me. I try to believe the best about people in every situation. I try to handle things coming from a place of love and grace, and I will make my thoughts known. I've talked to different directors at different times, and I'm like, hey, what about this? Let's get this. Can we please do this? No, the lunch is here. Can we please just come back to shooting so we can eat the lunch while it's hot instead of keep going? Like I will make my voice known if I feel like, hey, I don't want to eat cold lunch. Let's take our lunch break now. And there's been like times where I'll put notes in the suggestion box and they get read, and I feel like I've seen most of them, if not all of them, um, taken care of after I put anonymous notes in suggestion boxes. And so other people have had that too. Jacqueline says you look so aesthetic today. Well, thank you. Okay, let's look at some of your um, okay. Orion says, how often do you get to meet Dhar Mann in person? Not very often. I would say I maybe see him in passing at the studio maybe once a month. Okay, B Mixie Tips asks, are you upset with the members of Dhar Mann protesting? I'm not upset with them protesting because, like, that's our right in America to speak our opinion. It's just a little disheartening how some of it online seems to have turned into, we would like things to be better in the workplace. We would like certain terms and conditions to be better to it feels like it's turned into a slinging mud festival. And that part for me is very disheartening. I when some of this like really like outrageous stuff started to come out, and some of the stuff that they were writing on the signs and stuff, I was like, for like 2 or 3 days, I was just in knots in my stomach. I was just crying all the time. I was just so upset about some of the stuff that was being said, the slander, the speculation. And I'm not saying that, like I said, I keep saying this. It doesn't mean that some of their points weren't valid. It doesn't mean that they're making up some of their negative experiences, but how they went about it, it just seemed like they're trying to sink the whole ship and not even like remembering the good parts, the steady work, the being paid quickly, the wonderful camaraderie with that. There's just so many things that it's like they were only talking about the bad, that I was like, I have to say something. I did not want to. I was on the phone with my coach. I have a life coach. I'm a life coach, but I also have a life coach. I have two life coaches. Y'all, I have two life coaches. I was on the phone with her just crying, just so upset. And I'm like, I feel like I'm supposed to say something, but I did not want to, because I just was like, I'm not a rock the boat person. I do not like I feel like I'm not really a brave person. I'm kind of a chicken. I'm not the kind of person that like tries to go against the grain. I'm like the kind that keeps silent. I will disagree with you silently, not publicly. So honestly, it was very hard for me to put out that video I put out on Thursday. And as soon as it went live, I was like, oh my God, I'm just going to get eaten up alive. This is like, I think it's just been very emotional for everyone involved on every side, no matter how they feel. I feel like this channel has been such a blessing to so many people. And that it's helped a lot of people, that it's changed a lot of people. I know it's changed my life. And I know it has done for a lot of you guys, because I get your messages. I get your direct messages, and the things that you say, and it's beautiful. And it's sad. And it's like Jovanna said on her live stream on Friday, you know, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. So for those of you youngins, that's an expression. The bathwater can be dirty because you're cleaning off in it, right? But you dump the bathwater out when you're done with the bath, but you don't dump the baby out too. So the baby is all the good and wonderful things that have taken place at Dhar Mann. For those who view it, for those who participate, for those who work there, for those, you know. So yes, maybe there's some water. Then maybe there's the water might be a little tainted in some places, but like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, don't try to like sink the whole ship over some of this stuff. It's the misinformation also that's really getting to me, because like you guys have said, like, how many times on here, Mikey and Jay are fired. No, they're not. So people are not getting paid. Yes, they are. They're just not getting paid as much as they want to get paid. Everybody wants more pay. Name a single person who's ever worked any job ever in their life who wouldn't say, yeah, I could use more pay. We all want more pay. We all could use more pay, right? It's just the way that it's executed. It's the way that they're going about it. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. Retro Rampage says, "Who's the funniest at Dhar Mann Studios? Who's the most funniest?" Gosh, I don't know. We do have some talented comedic actors. You know what? I think Sean rates really high up there. I love he's the guy that plays Jay for you guys. Um, he has the potential to be a comedic genius, I think. Yeah, he's really good. His he's just good. I could go on and on, but I won't. Okay. Joshua says, "Were you ever in Dubai?" No. Were you in any other country before? I have visited Mexico, Canada, and like 3 years ago, I took my mom on a trip to Ireland. Whew. Okay. Calming down, calming my heart rate down. You guys know I have been in my diffuser all week. I have been burning, well, not burning, diffusing the essential oil called Stress Away. Because this whole thing at the studio has gotten me so stressed out. And this morning, and when I was putting my video together on Thursday, I put on this oil called Valor because it's supposed to like make you brave. And I put it on this morning. I'm like, I gotta be brave. I don't know how people are gonna be today. I gotta be strong. Okay, you guys, some of you sent me personal messages. Oh yeah, personal video. Thank you for that. Um, let's see. ZZZ says your eyes are so pretty. Thank you. Okay, Angela asks, is the live with Ricki still happening? It's totally okay and needed to speak up for what you believe. Yeah, like I said, she like put it out there asking me to, and I said, sure, I'd love to speak with you. But yesterday she said the time it was going to be, but then it kept changing and it kept changing, and I was waiting for it to happen. And then when she announced when it was going to be, I was like, well, now it's too late. Now I can't, because I had to get to the pharmacy and pick up my son's medicine before the pharmacy closed. So um, we'll probably reschedule for sometime this week, because I know a lot of people were asking her to respond to my video, and she's she's good people. She didn't want to just do a back and forth video thing like some of the protesters are doing in their responses. She wanted to have a grown up conversation, and I really respect that about her. I love Ricki. I really do. Mary Ann says, "You look so good so early in the morning." Honestly, I have not been sleeping. This week has been I probably look like I've got like dark circles, and it's been stressful, honestly. So thank you. Thank you. I don't see it, but thank you. I'm like, oof, I need to go get a facial. I need like a vacation. I need a spa day. Okay, let's see. Is it true that you'll get fired if anyone speaks out? Some people have said that that's what happens. I do not know if that's true. I don't know who they're speaking to or who they're talking about when they say that, because I have spoken out personally about many issues and did not get fired. And I know Ricki, who quit last year, I remember her speaking her mind on many occasions and never got fired. So again, I don't know if it has to do with how they're approaching things. Like, for instance, early on when I first started working there, I heard a rumor that an actor got fired who asked for more pay. And I was like, oh man, what? It kind of put like a little fear, and you're like, you're gonna get fired. But then when I found out what really happened, that instead of like asking for it in a normal way, he showed up on set that day to shoot and said, I'm not I'm not going to shoot today unless you give me more money. And I don't know what ended up going down, if they shot with him but a lot of it has to do with your approach, right? A lot of it has to do with how you're coming to someone. And there's ways to do it. There's ways, like I keep saying, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. You don't come on the shoot day and give somebody an ultimatum. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to be like, let's use some common sense, people. Sometimes let's. I mean, yeah. So people keep asking me who got fired, and I don't know specifically if you're talking about recently or when or what what exactly. Like, I don't know. I thought I saw, and I could be wrong. I thought I saw that Michael Vaccaro got an email saying that your services are no longer needed or something. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Did you guys see that in his story, or am I just imagining that? I don't know. That is the only one that I know of. So I don't have all the answers. I can't speak for everybody. I don't know everybody's individual situation or what they're going through. Okay. Willow Moore says, "You're one of my favorite actors besides Joey and Colin." Yes, Colin is great. He's a fantastic actor. Um, what's your opinion on Rachel getting fired? The girl that plays Michelle. I don't know. I'm not aware that she is. So I don't know. Okay, Muddy Bubble asks, and thank you for the super chat. Can you shout out Lynn Kitson, Justin Kitson, and Jason Kitson, and Fletcher Eartill, and Michael? Oh gosh, that's a last name. Michael Martosia and Catherine Failio. Okay, someone just sent me a super chat to get a shout out. You got it. You got it. Okay. Um, gosh, no, Mikey as AKA Cato did not get fired. Neither did Jay, AKA Sean. Okay, so here's another thing going on. Um, no, Dar did not want to take down Carl Judy's mural. He did not want to take it down. They did make a mistake in that whole thing, but it wasn't that. They put it up. Somebody who worked around the area or in the complex or in the buildings nearby complained to the owner, and they got contacted by the owner of where they rent the studio saying, you need to take that mural down and restore the wall to its original condition. The mistake that Dar and his people made was not asking the owner in advance if they could paint on their wall. So I know people are making it seem like, oh, he just took that down, and like, that is not how it was. And they're actually hoping to put it up somewhere else in the future, somewhere where they have control, where they own the place, or they have control over the building because they're renting. So, you know, if your landlord says you can't do that, then you can't do that. And it had nothing to do with him disrespecting Carl or not caring or anything like that. So that's another one of those rumors that is going around that is just irritating me because it's not true. And people are so quick to hear something negative and then jump on the bandwagon of, you know, the injustice when they don't know the full story, right? But I guess that's the internet for you, right? That's nothing new. Okay, let's see. Read Alert says, who do you think is the wrong one, Dhar Mann or the actors? And are the movies that you act in are famous? I've acted in so many movies that are not famous that half the movies I've acted in, I feel like never even saw the light of day or had such a limited release or such a small audience that most people never saw them. It's like the life of an independent actor. I haven't acted in big studio films, although I will tell you, I have a film coming out this Christmas called Bringing Back Christmas. So hope you'll all go to the theaters and see that. Okay, who do I think is in the wrong? I don't know if anybody is in the wrong. I think there have been things that have done incorrectly that could have been done better. So it's not black and white. Like Jovanna said on her live on Friday, there's a lot of gray matter. There's a lot of gray matter. It's not that the actors are right or wrong. It's not that Dhar's right or wrong. It's that things could have been done better. Things could have been done more decently. And there's a lot of gray matter, and there's a lot of growing pains, and there's a lot of like stuff that went down that I'll say there's a lot of stuff that went down that could have gone better. So it's not that we have no lenience for people for making mistakes, right? It's not that when people do something wrong that we automatically just like throw them under the bus, but that's what you want to do with cancel culture, right? People want to do that with cancel culture. So, guys, I normally go for an hour every Sunday, and then I'm done because I got to get the kids ready for church, and it's been an hour. So, if you guys still have more questions for me, I guess we'll do part 2 next Sunday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I love you, and I'm so sorry I didn't get to all the comments. This hour went by so fast. I appreciate you being here. Live true, love hard, and shine bright. Let's lead with love.